Our story today is from Tak Chai High School and the teacher Chen. The school principal asked him to work as a teacher in his school, but the principal was initially reluctant to have him work at their school because he believed that he did not have enough experience in teaching, especially since most of their students are troublemakers. However, the principal agreed to hire him after Chen presented him with his appointment paper from the Ministry of Education. The principal asked him to start working from tomorrow, 8 a.m. The next day, Chen went to school and entered the classroom, where he found the students in a state of chaos as if they were not in school. He tried to get their attention to focus on the lesson, but they did not care about him at all. So he wrote his name and number on the board and asked them to call him if any of them needed help, but they made fun of him because his handwriting was not beautiful. The teacher decided to get their attention in another way by targeting the fire extinguisher and turning the classroom ceiling into a rainy cloud, which succeeded in getting their attention. During break time, 5 students from Fadal's group gathered together: Jordan, Blades, Chris, Bruce and Jack. They were thinking of a way to make the teacher not control them when suddenly the basketball team entered where they were sitting and forced them out of their place. When the basketball team was playing a match, the 5 students were watching and thinking of a way to take revenge on them. One of the basketball players flirted with Jack's girlfriend, so Jack threw a glass bottle onto the court, which the player stepped on and fell down. But when the teacher found out what Jack had done, she punished him and his friends by asking them to write down the school rules 10 times each. However, Jack sat thinking with his friends about how to escape punishment, so he took a piece of paper with a worm inside it and gave it to the teacher, thinking that he had finished writing down his punishment and left her office. He and his friends watched from the window as she opened the paper and found a worm inside it, which made her scream in fear while pouring coffee all over her desk. The next day, President Yang visited the school at the same time that teacher Chen arrived at class, without knowing that the students had prepared a bucket full of water above his door, which he skillfully avoided. And he asked the students that he will ask them 3 questions, and anyone who answers the questions correctly will return home early. He asked Jack to give him a cigarette and began asking them about the harms and risks of smoking. The students began to focus on the information that the teacher was telling them to benefit from it. At the same time, President Hang was in a meeting with the school principal and told him that his school was not as good as other schools, and if he continued like this, he would close the school, and gave him only 1 year. Then the students went to eat, where they found a basketball team. The basketball team started teasing Jack that he didn't have parents like them, so Jack became very angry and got into a fight with them. The other students joined in to defend him. Teacher Chen learned of the matter and went quickly to the principal and found that the principal had decided to expel the 5 students from school. The teacher quickly returned to the students and found Jack still fighting. He stopped the fight and tried to calm Jack down, but Jack was very angry because of their bad words. He gave them 5 apology letters to give to the principal so that he would reconsider his decision to expel them. The other students went to the principal, but Jack left school and the teacher watched him sadly. When class ended, the teacher went to his office to review the files of the 5 students. He started with Jordan's file and learned that he loved singing since childhood, but his friends used to bully him because of his voice. Then he opened Blady's file and learned that she loved car racing very much, and also knew that her father was very interested in her younger brother and did not care about her, so she decided to look like a boy by cutting her hair. Then he looked at Chris's file and discovered that his mother left his father and married another man for money. Since then his father became an alcoholic and did not care about them. So Chris decided to enter the world of games and spend his time playing so as not to think about his family's situation. Then he looked at Bruce's file, who is Chris's twin brother, and learned that Bruce believed himself less intelligent than other people, and that his job in his family was limited to buying alcoholic drinks for his father. On the following day, Teacher Chen went to the principal to inquire about the conditions of the 5 students who suffer so that he can treat them in a more special and kind way. In class, all students were banned except for Jack, who went to work at his club to help his grandmother with household expenses. Meanwhile, Jack heard some people talking about demolishing their school. While men were busy watching horse racing on TV, Jack stole a gold lighter and left the place. But the owner of the lighter discovered that Jack had stolen it and asked his men to bring him, and they beat him up. When the man learned that Jack was studying at Tak Chi School, he gave him some money and asked him to visit him at the sports club. Teacher Chen went to Jordan's mother to meet her, while Jordan stole a ticket for a music concert, and many people followed him. When Teacher Chen saw him, he stood by his side to protect him and returned the ticket to its owners. Teacher Jordan took him and asked him to sing, while everyone agreed with Jordan and sang in front of people where everyone enjoyed it. Thus, the teacher was able to make Jordan trust himself and his talent. Bruce's father returned home and found that wine had run out, so he asked his son to go buy him a bottle of wine, but Bruce refused because he was busy studying, so his father got angry with him and kicked him out of the house, so he went to the park to spend the night there and continue reviewing his lessons. On the following day, Teacher Chen went to meet Bruce's father and asked him to stop his bad practices with his son and stop drinking wine that caused family disintegration and care for his children. At the same time, Gladys was reviewing her lessons with her brother. Their father entered and gave her makeup to use and take care of herself more, but Gladys refused and took her father's car without consulting him. Suddenly, Teacher Chen appeared in front of her and told her that her actions were wrong. He took her to the car racing arena to practice her favorite hobby, only to find her father waiting for her at the arena and challenging her to a race. At the start of the race, we see Gladys' skill in racing to the point that she was able to beat her father. But her father told her that driving a car is completely different here, and they decided to race again on the streets. They started a new race on the streets in front of everyone, and suddenly her father had an accident. Gladys rushed to him, where she almost got hit by a truck at high speed, but her father collapsed crying, believing that the truck hit her and she died. He blamed himself for what happened, and that he loved his daughter very much. Gladys heard what her father said and went to him to apologize for all her previous actions. Teacher Chen followed them and asked her to always listen to what her father says. Thus, Teacher Chen was able to solve Gladys' problem with her father. I hope you enjoyed it and wait for us in part 2 of this expressive story. See you soon, my dears.